Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So we're here at the park with the FEILUN FX-127 drone racer, pure carbon fiber drone racer. And if you missed the initial unbox, inspection, and setup of this guy, I'll have that pop up there on the screen, and also have it down in the description, so you can click on either or and get that first initial video of this. But today, basically, just going to put it through a few batteries. Going to initially do a line of sight flight test. I'm going to be using the Taranis Plus controller here, and also after we do our line of sight, I'm going to be throwing on these Fat Sharks Dominator 3s and going ahead and recording the FPV in there and seeing what this looks like on screen, so you guys can see that in its pure FPV form. This one I'm going to try to be doing some commentary while I'm flying, so you guys can listen to the commentary while I'm flying FPV. Hopefully that all works out. I'm kind of off and on showers today, so I got kind of a clear moment here in the sky from rain. I'll basically just be covering this up real quick with my jacket if it starts to rain. But I'm also going to be doing the stock propellers. I'm also going to be testing these Gem Fan 3-blade propellers, and then also some King Kong propellers here, some real cheap bullnose propellers, and seeing how they all do on this guy. But for the initial line of sight, just with the first battery, I'm just going to leave everything stock. All I did on this was change the flight modes to make sure I had attitude self-leveling mode, ratitude self-leveling with the flip ability, and also acro mode. And those are all just programmed into the Taranis. And this guy, don't forget guys, for all this stuff, the stuff I'm using here that seems to work really good, Fat Sharks, the Taranis, and this guy here, I'll have all this stuff down in the description underneath the video. You can click on that and get all the specs on this, and I'll also have the links for the Fat Shark goggles and the Taranis Plus controller. So anyway, let's go ahead and fire this thing up, line of sight, and see what it can do. Okay, so just putting basically a 4S 1300 milliamp battery in here. Pretty tight fit, but you can just jam it in there and it fits in nice and snug on top of this embedded mount here, really nice and tight. And I'm going to go ahead and just have this beeper on here on the balance port of the battery. I'm going to go ahead and power up. Turn on the Taranis controller. Okay, so what I did on this one is I just designated a switch to the arming stock. Basically, it's kind of funky because arming is throttled down and then roll all the way to the left. And so if you're trying to do tricks in the air and you do throttle down and roll left, it will disarm. So I didn't want that to happen, so basically this will arm it here. I put on some voice settings in the Taranis for the different flight modes. So I'm going to have gear up means it's armed, gear down means it's unarmed, and then the flight modes here I have all the way up. Flight mode normal is in the attitude mode, which you can push the stick all the way forward and it will hit a maximum and it will not flip. And then we have vario, or then we have ratitude mode, or horizon, which is the middle of this switch, and that will give you the same self-leveling, but you'll also be able to push the stick, the right stick, in any direction, and it will do rolls and stuff. And then this one here, acro mode, that's no self-leveling, full acro manual mode, so it will not stabilize itself back to level at all. So you have to do that on your own with the stick. So I'm going to start off in normal mode, arm it, and ready to go. Okay, so let's just see how it does line of sight here. Cool, so punch test from, well, we still have full battery, from hover to full throttle. Whoa. Okay, so that was a little bit weird. So you can see how it wanted to pull hard to the left. So already a little bit of a con there. I'm not sure if that's a wiring issue. I did make sure I went through the setup wizard in OpenPilot, so that may just be ESC or wiring issues. I'm not too sure on that. But you can see that full throttle, how it will pull to the left. not bad unless you give it full throttle like that. Okay, so a little bit of a con there. Wow, okay, so this actually may be horizon mode. Seems like it's tilting a little too far. Whoa, yeah. So it's not letting me flip, but man, that angle of attack is crazy. It lets me tilt at. So a little bit weird. What I am noticing is it seems like the self-leveling is getting kind of off. It's not very much wind right now, maybe about 5 miles per hour variable, but you see how it's pulling over there to the right and back now when I let off the sticks. So it's getting a little out of whack. Not sure if that's maybe an accelerometer problem, defect. I have no idea. What I did do is I have this thing. Let me just go ahead and land here. What I did do is I have this thing, when you rearm it, it'll actually reset the gyro to level. So let's see if that helps. Yeah, so it's back to level. So it looks like it just gets out of whack after a while. So a little bit of a con there. Let's go ahead and go into Vario mode or horizon or Ratitude, whatever you want to call it. Actually, before I do that, I just want to see. Wow, so there's a yaw in attitude mode, very fast. You can see how fast it is. It's kind of spinning like a top. All right, and that's how quick and touchy the pitch and roll is. And these settings, I didn't touch anything from the factory. All I did was set the flight modes. And let's go ahead and go into Ratitude mode, going down into the middle. Okay, so about the same yaw there. A pretty fast and twitchy yaw. The roll and pitch is about the same as well. Let's go ahead and see if we can do some flips. Let's do a left roll. Whoa! Ooh! Okay, so that was a nuts roll there. Let's see what damage is. Looks like the battery popped out. There's a little battery beeper, got kind of bent, and it looks like the go ahead and disarm that. So it looks like the tail light kind of popped out, and I see a bent prop here on the back right. Don't see anything broken right off the bat. But that thing took me for a surprise. That was a pretty radical flipping, man. I didn't think that was gonna be going that fast. That's strange. That was really out of control. Anyway, so this prop is bent. I'm not sure if I want to still use that. Maybe I will. It seems like it's just bent. It's still very rigid. So let me try and pop this light back in here. There we go. So that was a pretty hard crash and nothing broke. This pure carbon fiber held up great. That was a really hard crash into the right arm here, super hard, and it twisted some things and stuff, but seems fine. Everything's still intact, nothing broke, just a little bent propeller, and this battery unplugged, and then the beeper flew out. Okay, so that was pretty wild. Not sure why that was so finicky, but maybe it was the way I set that up. Anyway, all I have left is this 3S beeper, so it's only going to watch 3 cells, but at least it should still beep if we get too low on our power on 3 of the cells. So just gonna jam that sucker in there and fire it up again. Finish this line of sight. All right, let's try that again. So let's go into Vario again. Whoa. Strange happenings here. All right, here we are again. Let's try another flip. Jeez, it just flips so fast. I don't know why it's flipping that fast, but it sure does flip, that's for sure. And while it's flipping, the LED came out again. So let me fix that. Disarm. Always disarm before you pick the thing up. Alright, so this thing may be a problem. Oh, there we go. Doesn't look like anything broke, but this just got loose here on the bottom. But I don't see any breakage or cracks. It's just, you can see this side mount here. I don't know if maybe they have this held in with epoxy or something. Maybe the epoxy slightly broke. But it's just pushing out a little bit more than normal. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, this thing is a screamer in the settings I have for it. Let's try our front flip. Jeez. That's crazy. I don't know what's going on. This is nuts. You can see the jacaranda trees there in full bloom. Nice violet color. Let's try some left rolling. Oh. Ooh. All right, so I'm really putting this thing to its durability test. I must have either increased the exponential or something really crazily for this guy, or just something went haywire. I'm not too sure, but I'm actually a little bit afraid to fly this in FPV the way it's so touchy, but I think I'm still going to do it. So let's just exhaust this battery. If anything, right now we're getting a really good super duper durability test on it, and that's always nice in my book, because it looks like this thing can withstand almost anything you can throw at it. That time we kind of bent the top left propeller just slightly, little stress mark there, but it's still flying good, still hovering good. I'm just going to keep flying it until something really breaks. It's definitely a tank thus far. So you can see that horizon mode or Ratitude mode, how I was upside down and it went ahead and self-leveled when I took off the sticks. And that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to kind of catch itself and try to self-level. Always disarm. Another abusive crash on FX-127. This is like just durability testing today, because it's so crazy and finicky. So it seems like the way I have it now is it's just the amount I push it with my fingers, it's just gonna go super crazy. I think that was the third hard crash and nothing's really wrong. It looks like the video transmitter kind of came off the double adhesive tape there inside, and that's basically about it. I'm gonna go back into normal flight mode because I don't want to really break this thing before I even FPV with it. but I've never seen one with this much angle in attitude mode. It's basically got like a 90-degree pitch and roll, actually even over, but the self-leveling is very, very, very aggressive. It seemed like the way I had it set in horizon mode or attitude mode, the self-leveling was less aggressive. Wow. So I may actually just fly it line of sight. I mean, in FPV mode, in this attitude mode, just because it seems super touchy, man. Really quick. Let's try acro. And let's see if it's that touchy in acro here. Yep. So line of sight and acro, I'm switching out of that right away, because acro line of sight is tough. You probably will break something if you really hammer it in acro in your line of sight. Anyway, it does seem like it's a super durable craft. I mean, it's not quite as quick as some of the others I've tested. Probably because of these props, these propellers. These propellers are not bullnose, and they aren't really that thick of propellers. Man, it almost wants to flip, but it's not letting me do a full revolution. Interesting. So now the self-leveling is getting off again, not sure, in that attitude mode. Now it's kind of pulling to the right and back on its own. And that's not the wind. It's doing that on its own. It's tilting. So there may be something a little bit haywire again with the accelerometer on this guy. All right, so there's our low battery beep. I'm gonna go ahead and land, disarm, unplug this guy ASAP, and go ahead and throw in a new fresh battery. Put on the goggles, start the goggles recording, and see what we can do in FPV. Alright, so got a new battery in here, fully charged 4S battery. I went ahead and put on some new props. These are King Kong bullnose propellers. You can get a bunch of these for really cheap. I'll have the link also in the description of where you can pick these guys up. Anyway, I'm going to test these out and see how it does FPV with the Fat Shark goggles on. So let's go ahead and plug in and see how it does. Alright, so armed and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and start off in regular self-leveling attitude mode. So let's go ahead and try it out. So it's kind of in the evening right now. It is a little bit not the most ideal conditions, I guess, and it's a little bit tough to see with my goggles, just because of all the trees and stuff. You can kind of see here, but going pretty good. It's going pretty smooth. I'm just flying steady, and I don't want to get going too far. Whoa. Okay, so quick little damage assessment after falling out of that tree, and here we go. So it dropped out. It looks like it broke the arm where the motor is, so that's no good. To be fair, it did fall from about 20 feet and probably landed directly on this arm and just cracked the heck out of it. So if there was a weak point on the arm, that's it, and of course that's where it broke. It's definitely super durable until you hit it directly like that, and it will crack this weak point right here, because there's no screw or anything holding this in except for that one screw on top. And looks like I broke it, found the break point, so that's a bummer. I wanted to do more testing on this. I'll definitely be ordering. It looks like you can just replace possibly the arm. Not sure if I gotta, doesn't look like I have to order the whole plate assembly. It looks like I can just order maybe this 1 or 2 arm assembly here that come together. So I'll definitely be ordering that and putting that back together. But apparently I found the weak spot of this, so that's too bad. But in a good way, finding the weak spot is actually good, because then you all know where it's going to break. So that's also what's good about these flight tests, is you know where it's going to break, and you know how it's going to do, and everything to expect. So anyway, guys, not done with this one yet. I'm going to replace that arm and probably going to do some more videos with this. Okay, so just a quick little pros and cons of this guy. First of all, it's definitely very durable unless you hit here and break that. It's got good speed. The control, the accelerometer seems a little defective, out of whack on this one for me. I'm not sure what that was all about, but you can see the self-leveling. It kept wanting to drift to one way after a while, so something wrong with that. But anyway, for what it was, that was a flight test. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I do a lot of tests like this, so check out the channel. I think you'll like it, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.